Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Ms. Breyer?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Corman? Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. One absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that we excuse the absent council member.
Second?
Been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Ms. Breyer, that we excuse Councilmember. Oh, I'm sorry, Palmer. That we excuse Councilmember Corman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. First item on the agenda is a proclamation.
Proclamation, National Business Women's Week. Whereas working women constitute 72 million, or almost half, of the nation's workforce, and strive to serve their communities, their states, and their nation in professional, civic, and cultural capacities. And whereas women-owned businesses account for 30% of all U.S. businesses, generating $1.9 trillion in sales and employing 9.2 million people. And whereas working women should be applauded for their contributions to the workplace and the financial stability of their families, especially during the economic downturn when more women have become their family's breadwinner. And whereas the major goal of the Business and Professional Women's Foundation is to promote equity for all women and to help create better conditions for working women through the study and advocacy of the social, educational, and economic issues impacting women in the workplace. And whereas since 1928, National Business Women's Week has honored the contributions of working women and employers who support working women and their families. And whereas the City of Renton is committed to encouraging women in business and the workplace, now therefore I, Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim October 17th through 21st to be National Business Women's Week in the City of Renton, and I encourage all citizens to join me in this special observance. In witness whereof, I've hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 15th day of October 2012, signed Dennis Law, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move this council concur with this proclamation. Second?
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Ms. Palmer. The council concur with this proclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Irene Roberts and Laurel Winston here.
Thank you.
Say cheese.
He snuck around on me. Okay.
On behalf of Renton Business and Professional Women, we would like to thank the City of Seattle. Excuse me, Renton. I really did mean Renton. The organization is striving to incorporate more and more women. We have been here in Renton for almost 9 years, and our membership is consistently growing. We are basically here to support women politically, professionally, and personally. I welcome all of you to join us October 19th at our normal business luncheon, where we will be honoring Woman of the Year and Woman of Achievement. Your esteemed colleague, Terry Breyer, was our Woman of the Year last year, and we welcome her to attend our luncheon this year.
I'll be
Thank
there.
you. Great.
I'd like to add a few words. For those of you who don't know what BPW is, it stands for Women Helping Women. And like Laurel said, we empower women to grow personally, professionally, and politically. And we're so honored to have Terry to be our Woman of the Year last year. And I'm going to use her this year again to pin our new incoming Woman of the Year, who is Sabrina Mirata. Mirata, I think that's how you spell it. And she is our CEO for the Renton Chamber of Commerce. Our Woman of Achievement is Mary Clymer. and I'm sure you know who she is. She's very well known. So I'd like to invite you, all of you, to come and join us and help us congratulate these two women and make them have their year be a great, successful one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a message that I have for the council on the upcoming biennial budget for 2013-2014. You just had a presentation by Ewan Wong about all the money that we have to spend, and so now I'm going to try and fill in some of the blanks. But I do appreciate your time this evening. I'll start with some good news. As you've heard, the nation's economy is starting to show some signs of improvement. And more good news is that our city, unlike many other jurisdictions, remains healthy, and we continue to take necessary steps to protect the interests of our residents. Thanks to the support and leadership over the past years by the council, we have made difficult decisions to address the challenges of providing city services despite reduced revenues and personnel. Unfortunately, our challenges are not over. As you know, government revenues lag behind the regular marketplace. This budget proposal reflects the continued erosion of operating revenues over the next 2 years, much of it due to property values that have declined, which represent nearly 1/3 of the general fund dollars. Over the next 2 years, our preliminary estimates project a $5 million per year shortfall of revenues against the rising cost of doing business. With the help of our employees and unions, I'm presenting you with a balanced budget proposal that meets these revenue shortfalls with minimum employee layoffs. It does require additional staff reductions, but we're able to manage this almost entirely by not filling open positions. We are also proposing some increased fees. The total proposed 2-year budget for 2013 and 2014 is $457 million, of which $202 million is the general government fund that is used for police, fire and emergency services, our parks, street repair, and other city services. The last few times that I presented the city budget to you, we were in the midst of one of the gravest economic recessions in history that created a fiscal crisis for the entire nation. We have addressed the economic challenges to our city, and I believe we're on the course to recovery. Because of our strategic investments in economic development, our commitment to reforms, and the fiscal disciplines we have put into place, the city's financial situation is fairly stable, and we're beginning to see improvement. Businesses in Renton are beginning to recover and grow, and we continue to provide an environment that attracts new businesses to our city. We have worked to recruit new employers and support existing ones. We have had 200 new firms located in Renton this year, and 6,000 new jobs have been created in our community over the past 2 years. King County Elections, as you know, had moved out for a period of time, and they've returned to Renton. And Washington State Auto Dealers Association will be constructing a new building for their offices on Grady Way this year. Well, I guess it'll probably be next year. Commercial vacancy rates have remained significantly low compared with other cities in the Puget Sound region. And the Landing continues to add new businesses every month. In addition to Cost Plus and several new restaurants and other firms, some existing businesses are expanding into additional space. Sales for the Landing businesses are up nearly 15% over last year, and 92% of the Fairfield apartments at the Landing have now been leased. Housing sales are improving, including new construction. Since January of this year, we have received permit requests for 380 new single-family homes. The Boeing Company's announcement to build the 737 MAX in Renton was great news for the local economy. With a goal to increase production of the 737 next generation plane to 42 airplanes per month by 2014, we've already seen over 1,000 new jobs added to the Renton plant, and it's predicted that Boeing will add hundreds of additional jobs over the next couple of years. Despite some of this positive news, we continue to face budget challenges. What hit local government hard at the beginning of the recession was a plunge in sales tax revenues, and that was something Ewan was explaining a little earlier. Our other primary source of funding is from property tax, which constitutes nearly 30% of our general fund. Property tax assessments lag behind the market by 2 years and have dropped significantly. Therefore, the 2013 assessed value based on 2011 market value of homes is projected to decline by 4.5%. This will reduce the city's property tax revenue by $1.9 million annually. We will also no longer have the use of federal public safety grants that were available during the recession. We were able to use these grants to save 15 positions in the police and fire departments. These grants have now expired, which negatively impacts this budget by $1.5 million. While our revenues continue to fall, we still face increased costs for the state retirement system and other overhead expenses. With these reduced revenues and increased costs, our preliminary projections indicate that maintaining current levels of services in general government operations would result in a deficit of $5 million per year in this budget period. Once again this year, we recruited a group of citizens and business owners to review our budget process and provide us with input, making sure that our values and priorities align with those of our community. The Community Budget Advisory Group, comprised of local residents, business owners, and community leaders, met over a period of several weeks with city department heads and our finance department. In addition to examining our preliminary budget projections, this group had an opportunity to review several of the policies and programs that we instituted during the last budget process based on recommendations that we received from the previous group. In addition, they provided invaluable input that has helped guide us through this current budget. This budget reflects several key priorities and suggestions for cost savings recommended by the advisory group this year. I want to thank each one of them for all the effort that they put in during our budget process. I know we have at least 2 people here, Linda Smith and Howard McComber. Would you please stand up, be recognized by the council? Thank you very much. In order to balance our budget, we're proposing a 3-pronged approach to bring our expenditures in line with our revenue projections through the next biennium. First, we are once again reducing our operating costs through additional reductions in staffing. Second, we have negotiated cost-saving reforms to reduce medical premium costs in partnership with our employees and our unions. And third, we have identified a couple of revenue options that will help us close the gap for this 2-year period while maintaining quality levels of service to our residents. As you know, the city has already made significant cuts during the past few years, including the reduction of staffing levels, while our population has grown by 56%, from 60,000 in 2007 to nearly 94,000 people this year. Today's proposed budget reduces our workforce by an additional 25 positions, bringing our overall reduction in our workforce to nearly 15% of what we had in 2008. We are achieving most of the staff reduction through attrition to avoid layoffs. In order to minimize the impacts these cuts will have on service levels to our citizens, we have made organizational changes, reorganized job responsibilities, focused on efficiency, and embraced technology. Unfortunately, in addition to the attrition, we are forced to lay off a couple of positions. We've made reductions in areas where the workload has dropped to minimize the impact to the public. Eliminating some of these positions also reflects a reduction in our administrative and overhead costs, which was one of the recommendations from our Citizen Budget Advisory Group. Another significant cost savings we have for this budget period is a reduction of our medical costs. By increasing employees' contribution and reducing the amount the city is required to contribute to the medical premium, we are saving nearly $3 million in costs during this biennium. These significant savings would not have come without the help of our employee unions. They worked hard and collaborated with us to find a way to reduce costs and to save jobs. It's important to note that there have been impacts from the cuts that we've made these past few years. We've worked hard to set our priorities and cut our costs while focusing on efficiency. But some areas that have been cut, including required capital and maintenance, are not sustainable indefinitely. And we're at a point where we need additional resources in order to preserve our assets. Watching our spending and improving efficiency has been essential, but we have also had to explore some revenue options, especially in areas that have not been adjusted for many years. Our recommendations to you will help us generate about $1.3 million per year. As you know, Renton prides itself in having among the lowest fees in the county for most of the services that we offer. We've kept these fees unchanged for many years, despite the increase in costs of doing business. This was possible due to the significant building boom in the nation and our region we had experienced during that boom period that truly helped to fund our ongoing services. The budget proposes some fee adjustments that will have minimum impact on our customers and at the same time allow us to continue to provide quality services. Our fees will remain lower than most comparable cities in the region. One adjustment proposal is in our business license fee. This will be the first increase to this fee since 1988. The city will dedicate 80% of the revenue generated from this fee increase to transportation improvement investments and major maintenance, including the preservation and enhancement of parks and facilities that are in need of repair. New growth and development in our city creates additional demand and need for public facilities. We have established an impact fee where a proportionate share of the cost of transportation, parks, and fire protection needed for these new developments is paid for by the developers. We plan to phase in these impact fees over a 5-year period, starting in 2014, when we believe the economy will be stronger. This budget also includes a medical transport fee to transport patients to a medical facility by our fire department. Currently, private ambulance companies provide most of these transports, and they charge the patient's insurance companies. We would also charge insurance companies directly. However, it's important to know that having insurance coverage will not play a role at all in determining when a patient's to be transferred by a fire unit or an ambulance. This budget reflects a lot of collaboration and partnership with our community, allowing us to enhance public amenities despite budget constraints. A great example of a recent partnership is the joint development project to build an inclusive children's playground to serve the entire community, including children with special needs. This unique playground is made possible thanks to a public-private collaboration between the city, the Renton School District, the Renton Housing Authority, Renton Rotary, Renton Lions Clubs, and other service organizations. Thanks to the funds raised by our partners, this much-needed public amenity will soon become a reality. Another example of a unique partnership that greatly enhances our service delivery while saving costs and generating revenue is an innovative project between the city's Carkle Theater and Puget Sound Access, operators of the city's Channel 21. Puget Sound Access is a local nonprofit organization specializing in cable, communications, and media technology. Besides Renton, they provide multimedia services for organizations such as the Showware Center and other government agencies. Beginning this year, they will lease space at Carkle Theater and assume the marketing and management functions. Under this arrangement, Carkle Theater will increase the number of customer rentals and will expand its multimedia offerings to its customers. The city will save on the costs related to theater operations and at the same time receive additional revenue from the lease and enhance its cable operations. The public will enjoy a more modern theater with several multimedia options. In addition to managing within our financial means and working to improve productivity and efficiency, it's imperative that we maintain our parks, facilities, roads, and utility infrastructure for our children and our grandchildren. We have started a $42 million redevelopment project on Rainier Avenue South, funded largely by state and federal dollars. Rainier Avenue South serves as a major north-south thoroughfare through Renton, as you know, and when completed, it will result in a safer and more attractive gateway to our city and to the business community. The project will improve transit mobility, upgrade traffic safety, and enhance pedestrian safety with a new 8-foot wide sidewalks, attractive landscaping, and improved street lighting. We also broke ground on Phase 1 of the Southwest 27th Street Strander Boulevard connection. This project includes a new railway bridge and a 2-lane roadway that will provide access for Renton residents to the future Sound Transit commuter rail station that's going to be built in Tukwila. No update on our investments would be complete without mentioning our Sunset Area Community Investment. Isn't that right, Howard?
Absolutely.
The public and private capital investments in that area to date have totaled over $40 million. Several of you joined us at the opening of the Glenwood Townhomes, the new 8-unit housing development recently, which is the beginning of creating a more attractive and vibrant community for local residents and businesses. We believe this project will provide a stimulus for other public and private development in the Sunset area. We continue to invest in our streets and infrastructure, but investing in the safety of our city has continued to be my priority. Crime rate, as measured by crimes per thousand, has decreased by double digits over the last 3 years. Currently, our crime rate is one of the lowest in South King County, but crime rates alone don't measure things that are under our control. As a city, we are committed to finding creative ways to reduce crime activity and to make people feel safe throughout our community. Our efforts have been effective in reducing negative impacts in several areas of the city. Despite reductions in staffing, our police officers have successfully targeted repeat offenders and focused resources on neighborhoods experiencing high levels of criminal and dangerous activity. We were successful at helping to close down a local restaurant and bar that was a site of many serious offenses that created fear for families living in the area. And the council provided new tools through ordinances, giving the city and our police a means to target property owners who continually allow criminal activity to take place, which impacts the neighborhoods. And our fire department has made sure that our response time to residents needing help has not been impacted despite reduced resources, and we continue to help our citizens to be prepared in the event of a major disaster. I'd like to turn your attention now to West Hill. As you know, on November 6th, residents of West Hill will be able to vote and choose whether they would like to annex to the city of Renton or remain part of unincorporated King County. This annexation poses a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge is to provide the services needed with the resources available. The opportunity is to transform West Hill into a safe urban center where residents and businesses thrive. If the residents vote to annex, we will work closely with King County and our state representatives to find solutions to the current financial gap. This budget does not include revenues or expenditures for West Hill. I think you would agree that Renton is defined by the excellent quality of life we enjoy in our city. We proudly state in our business plan that we are the center of opportunity in the Puget Sound area where families and businesses thrive. A huge part of this success is due to the great programs and services we continue to provide despite significant personnel and budget cuts, which is a testament to the committed efforts by our dedicated employees. These programs and services contribute to a safe, healthy, and vibrant community for our citizens. Providing recreational opportunities is important for a healthy community. Our parks, facilities, trails, and golf course continue to receive praise from the public. Our world-class recreational programs still offer something for everyone, regardless of age or ability. Serving unique populations in our city is really important. Our summer lunch program serves hundreds of children in need, and our housing repair assistance program has helped elderly and low-income residents stay in their homes and retain their independence. This budget maintains these vital programs. Community building programs strengthen our neighborhoods and promote awareness. Our award-winning neighborhood program now has 72 recognized neighborhoods representing thousands of Renton residents. Over 5,300 people attended neighborhood events and picnics this summer. This budget includes $73,000 in grant funds that give neighborhoods the opportunity to invest in their community. Events that promote our city help our local economy. Our farmers market enjoyed a record attendance this past summer with over 4,000 people a week. The Seahawks training camp brought over 21,000 people to Renton during this past summer. and festivals and events from the Seattle International Film Festival to the 4th of July celebration, IKEA Renton River Days, Return to Renton Car Show, and Clam Lights at Coulon Park all experienced record crowds. These programs and events bring tremendous value to our citizens. They also bring tourists and visitors to our restaurants and stores. They fill hotel rooms and provide entertainment for our families while boosting the local economy. And they're made possible by the sponsors that help us and support us each year with each of these programs. We have been through some stressful times during the last several years, and I want to thank each of our administrators and all of our employees for their hard work and efforts to find solutions to these budget challenges. Many of them are here in the audience. They want to make sure I'm not cutting more from their budget this year. I especially want to thank our finance director, Ewan Wong, and her staff for the quality work that they have done throughout this budget process. And they are on target. And, you know, Ewan, as you heard earlier, is very conservative, and that has helped us tremendously over the last couple of years. I also want to thank the council for your guidance and input as we've worked on this budget together, and with a goal that we've all had to maintain a quality city for our residents and for our businesses. We will be presenting you with more specific details. You've got a nice big book in front of you with some of our budget proposals, and over the next couple of weeks we're happy to receive feedback, concerns, and any recommendations that you may have. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to other council business, administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, just wanted to remind the council and the community that, as you know, over the weekend of October 5th to the 7th, we had hundreds of filmmakers scattering all around town in action, competing in the Renton Film Frenzy 5, which is our annual 50-hour filmmaking competition. We had a record 25 teams, including 13 student-led teams, registered to take the challenge to write, shoot, and edit a 4-minute film completely in Renton. Next Monday night at 7 p.m., while we're here enjoying our time together as a council, we're inviting the community to meet at the Renton Civic Theater to view all of the films. And then the following night, on October 23rd, will be the Curvy Awards Gala at the Renton IKEA Performing Arts Center. That also begins at 7 p.m. And so hopefully the members of the community will take the opportunity to attend one or both of those events. They're both free to attend, and we just want to encourage folks to come out and support those. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Covington. And I think, Suzanne, was this the first year that we didn't have rain?
No.
It was a...
Third.
Yeah, it was anyway, it was a great event. Okay, we don't have anybody signed up for audience comments, so moving on to the consent agenda. We have 6 items listed on the consent agenda. I would like to pull item B, which we'll resubmit to you next week with additional information. So I would entertain a motion for the 5 remaining items.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Person. The council approve the consent agenda minus item B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business, Mr. Zwicker.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there is a Committee of the Whole committee report from last week's Committee of the Whole meeting.
Committee of the Whole Committee Report, 2013-14 Utility Tax Revenue. The Committee of the Whole recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the 2013-2014 revenue increases of 5% each year for water, wastewater, surface water, and solid waste, keep the King County rate stabilization charge at $1.16 per wastewater account, and raise the utility tax by 0.8% for water, surface water, and solid waste utilities. The committee further directs staff to prepare an ordinance to amend Chapter 1, Garbage, Chapter 2, Storm and Surface Water, Chapter 4, Water, and Chapter 5, Sewer of Title 8, Health and Sanitation of City Code, and recommends that the ordinance be presented for first reading. This is signed by the council president.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
I move that the council concur in the Committee of the Whole committee report.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Breyer. The council concur with the Committee of the Whole report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Breyer.
Yes, the Finance Committee has one report.
Finance Committee report, approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on October 15, 2012, claim vouchers 315762 through 316164, 2 wire transfers and 1 payroll run, with benefit withholding payments totaling $5,228,914.21, and payroll vouchers include 715 direct deposits and 64 payroll checks totaling $1,566,390. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council approve the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, transportation report for Councilman Corman.
Transportation Aviation Committee report, AccuWings LLC lease addendum. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve an addendum to the airport lease with AccuWings LLC for the 756 building, pilot lounge, and the 760 building and tie-down aircraft storage to increase the total lease revenue by $2,203.86 per year, plus leasehold excise tax. The committee further recommends that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign the lease addendum. This is signed by the committee vice chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I move the council concur in the recommendation of the Finance Committee. I mean, the Transportation Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that council approve the Transportation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I have
sir.
a couple other things that I'd like to announce. I got, the council got a email from Dorothy Parsons about wanting a post office box down around the landing store. And I'd just like to refer that on to the administration.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that correspondence regarding mailboxes at the landing be referred to the administration. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And then next, I would move that the WCIA monthly claims report for September 2012 be referred to the Finance Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, seconded by Ms. Breyer, that the WCIA claims report be referred to the Finance Committee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And then I have sad news for my final topic. Ron Nilsson, who was a longtime building director for the city, passed away on Friday, and he'll be missed. But just I would let the public know that his memorial service is at Greenwood this coming Friday at 11 a.m. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Person. Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor.
No old business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, we have one resolution and 2 ordinances.
The first resolution regards authorization for the 2002 LTGO bond redemption. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the redemption of the city's limited tax general obligation bonds 2002 and the transfer of interfund loans, and authorizing the execution of certain documents related thereto.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with the resolution.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Taylor. The council concur with this resolution. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Ordinances for second and final reading. The first regards the third quarter budget amendment. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the City of Renton fiscal years 2011-2012 biennial budget as adopted by ordinance number 5583 and thereafter amended by ordinances 5595, 5616, 5638, and 5656 in the amount of $8,496,583.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with this ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, second by Mr. Taylor, that council approve this ordinance, and it's for second and final reading, requires a roll call.
Mr. Zwicker?
Aye.
Ms. Breyer?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
And Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it.
And the last ordinance for second and final reading regards the refinancing of the 2004 water and sewer revenue bonds. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the issuance of water and sewer revenue refunding bonds in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $10 million for the purpose of refunding a portion of the city's water and sewer revenue bonds 2004, providing the form, terms, and covenants of the bonds, authorizing the appointment of an escrow agent and execution of an escrow agreement, delegating certain authority to approve the final terms of the bonds, and authorizing the cash redemption of the city's water and sewer revenue refunding bonds 1998.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms.
I
Breyer.
move that council approve this ordinance.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, second by Mr. Taylor. Council approve this ordinance. It's for second and final reading.
Mr. Zwicker?
Aye.
Ms. Breyer?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Bonnie. Moving on to new business, Mr. Zwicker.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to call it the Committee of the Whole meeting for Monday, October 22nd, here in the council chambers, beginning at 5 p.m. One item, we'll begin budget deliberations. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Breyer?
I have no committee meetings to announce, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Prince?
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Person?
No new business.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes, the normally scheduled Community Services Committee, which would normally meet next Monday, has been canceled.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. And Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Utilities Committee will be canceled next week. And I also have another couple of items. We all received one of these letters from Puget Sound Regional Council for the event. Are we planning on doing anything about that as a city?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. You might ask Mr. Zwicker.
I do not know. I'd ask Julia.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, okay. And then my second item is that last year I had an opportunity to attend Seattle's Race and Social Justice Initiative Governing for Racial Equality Conference, and they're having another one this year. And I'd like to attend this. It's going to be in December, and I would recommend that my colleagues might be interested in possibly attending it as well. And since we are bringing this up before council to get some kind of consent, I'd like to get some kind of consensus as to whether or not this is something that anyone doesn't mind me attending.
I'd just like more information about what the program and everything.
It's regarding equity
Thank you.
and social justice and governance.
It's held at Seattle University. Looks like you're getting some nods.
If I don't hear any objections, I'll presume that that's an aye.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if
Yes,
you wanted to make
Mr.
a
Zwicker.
motion or something like that, we usually do this in regional issues. You know, we haven't seen this material in advance. I'm not prepared to rule in either direction on it, but, so I mean, I don't want to say I'm against it, because I don't know if I'm for it either. But I'm not sure what's in front of us right now, so.
It's a conference regarding equity and social justice governance for elected officials. It's no different than the one that I attended last year. So here's more detail if you'd like to peruse it.
I won't be making a decision here on the dais on it. But again, do we have a motion? I'm not sure what we've got going here. So
I'll make a motion that I should attend this conference.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I just think that the information would be nice to give to all the council so that we have an opportunity to read it, and maybe we can make the decision next week. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not familiar with the topic or the conference. So for me anyway, I'd like a little bit time to actually, read it and learn a little bit more about it.
Would that be okay? When does that have to be?
Well, it's December 13th and 14th. It's 2 days, so that'd be, time enough.
So you can make copies for everybody.
Absolutely. I was under the impression that everyone would have received a copy of this also, since they. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Mr.
That's
Mayor?
fine.
Yes, Mr. Person.
I guess it has, I think what's striking some of us is unusual. We don't usually bring it up on the council floor as a motion without any of the other council knowing about it. I mean, it's just a whole change in procedures from what we've done in the past. So I agree with holding it off so we can further discuss it.
Okay. It looks like a worthwhile conference, but I know you've gone through some changes in policies, so I think Mr. Taylor's just trying to make sure that he's following whatever policies that you want. So.
And that's exactly it, Mr. Mayor. When we decided to do this, I know that we sometimes have opportunity to do this during our committee of the whole meeting. Today I didn't have an opportunity to do it. I thought that I would bring it up today just so that I could make sure that I got in on the early registration opportunities. But if it means waiting a week to get consensus from the council, I'm okay with that. Got plenty of time to do that.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
If I may, I'll go ahead and amend the agenda for Committee of the Whole next week. It'll still begin at 5 o'clock, but we'll have two items. First still being budget deliberations, and second will be review of Councilmember Taylor's request. We'll just take 5 minutes at the beginning and do that. So with the assumption that it will be in everybody's hands basically effective tomorrow, so we can take a look at it.
Okay. Sounds good.
That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Taylor. Next is audience comment. If anybody would like to address the council. It's a wish of the council.
Move adjourn.
It's been moved by
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Bonnie Walton, City Clerk. I have a little question. We did adopt the resolution regarding the 2002 LTGO bonds. However, I read that not realizing that the committee had not reported that out yet. Fortunately, my deputy clerk helped catch that. So I don't know if committee is holding that or if the report is ready and we just didn't receive it.
We just didn't get a committee report. We did talk about that. Did we not, Don?
I thought it was just a briefing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it, but there wasn't a committee report that we...
Sounds like you have concurrence with the committee.
We would need a committee report to bring forward the resolution, which we already went and did. It was actually referred to committee. So I have a draft of the committee report, if you indeed would like to
sign it,
look at it,
and
sign
look
it,
at
or
sign it. Okay, sure.
Is that okay, Zanetta? The way.
It seems to me that if we have the committee report signed, I mean, if we have it and you can sign it and we can close that door, that's fine. Procedurally, I think, however, the council has acted. And so I think that kind of trumps it. If you want to close that door, we can. I don't think you need to.
Well, I think if she's got one, we can just go ahead and handle it then.
Yeah.
Okay, it's moved by Mr. Person, second by Mr. Zwicker, that we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.